In this video, we're going to talk about a couple of tools that allow us to move around and change the view of our stage in Flash. And that's going to be the hand tool and the zoom tool. Now, it's pretty obvious what these do. If you've ever looked through a PDF document or used a number of other programs, then you've probably used the hand and zoom tools before. They're very simple. The hand tool, if we click on that to select it, it allows you to just click on the stage and move it around. So it's a much easier way, basically, of using the scroll bars. We could use the scroll bars to scroll up and down and left and right, but if we use the hand tool, it's a lot easier because we can do up and left or down and right all at the same time. So the hand tool is very handy, if you will, and it allows us to navigate around very easily. The zoom tool, as you can imagine, allows you to zoom in and out. So if we click on that and just click on the stage, you'll see that we'll zoom in. If we hold on to the Alt key and click on the stage, we'll zoom out. Another way we can zoom out is to just click down here on these extra options on the minus button here, and then we click on the stage and it will zoom out. And every time we click, it'll zoom out more. We can click on plus and it will zoom in every time we click on it. Now notice if we have minus selected and we hold on to Alt, it will choose the plus and we can zoom in. So the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac basically does the opposite of what's currently selected. So if the plus tool is selected and we hold on to Alt, it'll go to the minus tool. If the minus tool is selected, we hold on to Alt, it'll go to the plus tool. Now, I hardly ever click on these two tools to use them. I usually use them in a temporary sense, and let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to hit Control 1 or Command 1 on a Mac to zoom back out to 100%, and I've got the hand tool selected now. I'll just move that back to its original location. And I'm going to click on the Selection tool. Now you can access the hand tool and the zoom tool by hitting their keyboard shortcut. For the hand tool, the keyboard shortcut is H, and you can click and move around. For the zoom tool, the keyboard shortcut is M, so you hit M and it switches to the zoom tool. But there's actually a better way to do this so that you don't actually switch to the tool. We're going to switch to the tool temporarily using different keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to switch back to the Selection tool by hitting V on my keyboard. And in order to use the hand tool temporarily, I'm simply going to hold down the space bar. Notice when I hold down the space bar, we get the hand key, or the hand tool. And you'll notice on our toolbar, the hand tool is not selected. The Selection tool is still selected. So I can now click and drag around as long as I'm holding down on the space bar, and then when I'm done dragging around, I simply release the space bar and we're back to the Selection tool. So the space bar is basically a way to temporarily access the hand tool, and then when you release it goes back to whatever tool you were using before. So if we're creating a couple of circles, we could create one circle. And let's say we wanted to create one over off the side of the stage. We'll just hold onto the space bar, click and drag across, and then create another circle. I'll hit Control Z a couple of times to undo that. And we'll hold onto the space bar and move this back into place. Similarly, you can also temporarily access the Selection tool. Notice we've got our oval tool selected right now, and if I hold onto the Control key or the Command key using a Mac, you'll notice that the Selection tool is temporarily selected for our cursor, and we can click to select different objects or click outside to deselect. So that's how you temporarily access the Selection tool, by holding on to Control or Command. Now the zoom tool is a little more complicated. You have to hold down a couple of keys on your keyboard, but it's really not too bad. You'll get used to it quickly. To zoom in, you can hold on to space and Control at the same time, or if you're using a Mac, space and Command. And you'll see we have the plus cursor. So we click on the stage and it will zoom in. To zoom back out, all we have to do is add the Alt key to that keyboard shortcut so that we're holding on to space, Control, and Alt, or on a Mac, space, Command, and Option. And you'll see that we have the minus sign here. So when we click, we'll zoom back out. Let me point out one more thing about the zoom tool. If we have the zoom in tool selected, if we hit Control and space, and let's say there's a specific area we want to zoom in on, we can simply click and drag around that area and it will zoom into that specific area. And that works whether you're using the keyboard shortcut or whether you're using the zoom tool itself. But as I mentioned before, you'll hardly ever see me actually, in fact you will probably never see me actually click on the hand tool or the zoom tool. and you'll never actually see me use the H or M keyboard shortcuts to permanently go to those tools. Instead, I just use spacebar to choose the hand tool temporarily, and then when I release the spacebar, it goes back to whatever tool I was using before. Or to zoom in, I'll hold on to space and control, or space and command if you're using a Mac, and click on the stage. To zoom out, space, command, and alt, or space, control, and alt on a PC, space, command, and option on a Mac. And at any time you can zoom back to 100% simply by hitting Control 1 or Command 1 on a Mac on your keyboard, and now we're back to 100%. And then if we want to recenter our window, we can just hold onto the space bar, click, and drag down, and there we go. So that's how you use the hand and zoom tools in Flash.